What's up guys, how's it going? My name is Marcus Jose from the Bull Co, and you guys are watching how to choose an American Bully stud. Now if you find this video useful, do me a favor guys, leave a comment, leave a thumbs up. Other than that, let's get into it. Now I get this question all the time, people telling me how to choose the best stud for their female, and today we're going to go over these key things you need to take into account to enable you to breed better dogs. Now this is Forty here, he is 4 months old, he is a male, but all the same, he's going to be demonstrating some of these things I'll be talking about so you guys can get what I'm saying visually. Now I want to state this first and foremost. The three things we'll be talking about today, structure, health, and type, these things are not interchangeable. You should not take one over the other. All these things make up the American Bully and should be at the forefront of your thought process when you're choosing a stud for your female. Now, when choosing a stud for your female, you're looking at a couple things. And the first thing you're going to be looking at is what your female holds, what your female has. Does your female have a good top line? Does your female have good fronts? Does your female have a good top skull or, good bite, right? What does your female have? Then you're going to try to find a stud that can complement that. What does that stud have, as well as being able to add to what your female doesn't have. Now, when you're trying to figure out what your dog possesses, you want to actually look at your female, but also look at its previous generation, its sire, its dam, their sire, their dam. What features does your dog possess that showed up, 3 generations ago, right? Because every dog that you have is basically a compilation of the dogs before it, right? And what you want to do is you want to try essentially to work against nature. You don't want to allow things to go where they're gonna go. You want to give it the best possible choice to either fix itself or even get better. So using tools like Bullypedia, using tools like an online dictionary where you can see these studs or these females that are in your lineage, and you can actually see the things that you're looking at and looking for to breed to. Okay, wait. Now, the key to breeding is maximizing the features you want to get out of your breeding, and also minimizing losing the features that you already have. So for things, things like a good top line, good turn to stifle, a healthy personality, an outgoing and energetic dog, good shoulders, proper neck size, proportion, right? Good top skull, things of this nature, right? Good shoulder set. Now, so when you're checking the shoulder, you're going to first check the upper arm. Okay, the upper arm is this right here. It's going to come from the blade here down to the forechest. Okay, from there it's going to go from the forechest down to the elbow. Okay, you want the bones to be making a 35 to 45 degree angle. Okay. Oh boy. Hope he's in the camera. Let me move him back here. There we go. Okay. Now, for the rear end assembly, I tell people all the time, they ask me, what's a rear end assembly? This is a rear end assembly. The rear end assembly is basically the hips, the turn to stifle, the hocks. Okay? You want to see a good turn to stifle, and you want to see hocks that are straight up and down. Okay, now he's a little wonky right now because he's 4 months old. I'm not really worried about that. But we're just using this as an example for you guys to visually see this, okay? Now, when we're talking about shoulder set, this is going to be the shoulder set here. From here, the front, top of the shoulder, the fore chest, and to the elbow, okay? To the elbow, down and down to the forearm. All right. Now, so those are the little things you'll be looking for, right? Other little things will be like the spacing of the eyes, the way the ears are set, the thickness of the muzzle, the bite, the front feet, right? What the front feet are supposed to look like. They're supposed to look like cat feet, okay? Very tight. Right? When the dog puts the weight down, if they go splayed, it's because the dog doesn't have good enough tendons inside the foot, okay? Those are things that can be fixed in breeding, okay? So what does experience bring? Now, I always talk about experience, number one, because you can't really give yourself a good guess to what a breeding is going to be until you have experience. And why is that? when you've been doing this long enough, you're gonna see dogs in certain lines that produce certain things. There are some lines that produce, more overall bone or more overall dog. There are certain lines and certain dogs that produce better structure but less bone. What you have to figure out is not how you can get all the size and all the bone, and not how you can get all the structure. How can you get it all? How can you get half and half of everything, right? How can you get a good balance of everything is what you really want to do. Since there's no perfect dog, there's no way you can get a perfect structured dog and a perfectly tight dog. But our jobs as breeding into this breed is to get it as close as possible. And if you're not doing these things, if you're not taking structure into account in your, from day one, you've already lost. And you're doing the same thing that everybody else in the game is doing, is playing the hype game. Now on to health. The way that you look at the way the dog stands, the way that you look at the way a dog is set up, shoulders, top line, rear, head, ear set, right? All these things, you need to be looking at that also as in health. The dog needs to have good elbows. The dog needs to have good hips. The dog needs to be free of genetically transferred diseases. And this is where health testing comes in. Although it's a very new breed, there are some breeders that are doing it, and I commend you. I believe that every breeder within the American Bully community needs to start health testing to make sure that these diseases that are being passed on stop being passed on. Now, last but not least, type. Like structure, like health, type is very important. I don't care if you have the healthiest dog in the world but it looks like an American Pit Bull Terrier. I don't care if you have the bulliest dog in the world, but it's riddled with diseases. Losing skin, bad skin issues, can't move, right? Like, I don't like seeing that. I want, and you should want, a balanced dog that has good health, good drive, good physical look to him, and has the actual type to be called an American Bully. Thick muzzle, thick bones, proper structure, proper drive, right? That's what you want. If you're breeding for just color, if you're breeding for just size, you're absolutely wrong. And you should probably get out from doing this. These terms, right? These terms of type, health, structure, they're not interchangeable. You need to define each one in every single one of your breedings. Understand what your dog holds good, what it holds bad, and find a stud who complements that. Find a stud or a line who can actually help you with that, right? Shh, wait. Now, common mistakes in the bully world right now. Breeding the popular studs. It's crazy how many people breed to popular studs, and why? They all want that dog that everybody loves, right? But I can tell you right now, 9 times out of 10, the people who have these studs never meant to produce that type of dog. Okay? They got lucky. And why do I say that? Because, man, 4 out of the 5 last popular stud was purchased from a breeder. If they knew that they were going to produce that, they probably would have never sold it, right? So we got to stop taking popularity into account when we're breeding. You need to breed to a dog that complements your dog. Okay? If your dog has cowhawks, okay, you don't want to breed to a dog with a bad rear end assembly. You gotta look at what your dog has and possesses. Wait, good boy, good boy, good boy, right? Good boy. Another popular thing is breeding just for color. Shit about Merle. About breeding just tries. These all popular ass colors. Like I just don't get it. Why don't you guys stop for a second, get yourself a really, really good dog, and then start breeding for color. Then once you have that structure, the type, the health down, then you can start breeding for color. But a lot of you guys take things way too fast. Maybe because you want to make a quick buck. I know me, I'm in this for the long haul. I don't want to make a quick dollar. I want to breed better dogs. Color is the last thing on my mind. Another thing you need to stay away from is breeding your dog too soon. Guys, when you're breeding, and it's not just a hobby, you need to make sure that you're doing things ethically, okay? Make sure you're not breeding a dog before the age of 2. Even at 2 years old, the female is very much young, very much an adolescent, even at 2. So if you can wait to 2.5 to 3 years old, you're gonna have better litters overall. I've seen it myself. And the last thing that this world likes to do is follow trends. These popular studs, popular lines, stuff like that. People follow trends too much. I see people doing the exotic dog, right? Breeding exotics. Why? There's nothing to exotics. There's no thought at all that goes into breeding exotics. Now, I'm not gonna rag on you because I honestly feel like XLs are in the same boat, okay? XL breeders are breeding dogs outside of standard, breeding Merle dogs, okay? You're not a bully anymore. A Merle is a disqualification. Now, the Merle has been around, it just hasn't been as prevalent as it is now, right? But for me, it's the same thing. If you purposely breed a dog outside of breed standard, for me, it doesn't make it that breed anymore, okay? So, without going on and on and on this topic, okay? You remember, when you're breeding, first comes the structure, type, and health. Is your dog healthy enough? Is it not carrying genetic diseases? Will it pass on good traits? Structurally, is a dog good enough structurally or even produced structurally to make sure that your next breeding or your offspring is going to be better than the dog that you are breeding right now? Because that's what we need to do. We need to produce better dogs, okay? And the last but not least, absolutely not least, type. If you have the healthiest dog in the world and you call it a bully, but it looks like American Pit Bull Terrier, I don't care how healthy it is. For me, it's not a part of this gene pool because it does not look like an American bully. Not even a tool, because this size, the bone, the structure, it's hard to get. And you can lose it pretty fast if you're breeding to the wrong studs. All right, guys? Anyways, that's my video today. I hope it made sense. I hope you liked it. If you did, make sure you subscribe. My name is Marcus Jose. This is my Dude 40. You guys have a good day.